Hopefully you can still see the life cycle right over there, sort of vaguely. Hopefully you know it by now. If not, this is a good time to sort of refresh your memory. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with a nice mature bryophyte. So you can see that little box of green stuff there. So here we have our nice mature bryophyta. If you check it out here, we have the green stuff here, which is the gametophyte or the sporophyte. Gametophyte. So it's our photosynthetic gametophyte. And then all these little sticks sticking up is our mature sporophyte popping off of there. Notice how they're not very green. We're going to say they're not green at all. So they're not photosynthetic. And basically, those sporophytes rely on the gametophyte for all their food and sugars and water and stuff. Okay. So let's take a look at this sporophyte here. There's a few basic general terms you need to know about the mature bryophyte, sporophyte. Okay, you have your capsule here, where basically meiosis occurs, where the magic happens. You have your seta, or stalk, and then you have your foot, where the sporophyte attaches to the gametophyte. Okay? So let's take a cross-section of that capsule there, and blow it up, and this is what we get. All right, you can see these little orange cells here. These are our spore mother cells, and basically this is where meiosis is going to happen. So this is haploid gametophyte tissue. This is diploid sporophyte tissue. And basically, this diploid sporophyte tissue is going to undergo meiosis on the far left there to produce spores. Okay? So it undergoes meiosis, splits, and gets these haploid spores. This is the start of our gametophyte generation. Okay? So it's filled up with all these haploid spores. Say a Hurricane Isaac comes through, the wind's blowing real good, and the spores just get dispersed all over the place. Some of those spores float around, they land on a nice juicy spot, and they start to germinate, they start to grow, which is a process we call mitosis. Yes, the cells start splitting, undergoes mitosis, forms these little protonemata or protonemata for plural, which y'all hopefully have seen already. They start getting bigger and bigger and producing either male or female gametophytes. Okay, so let's look at our male gametophyte. So it looks like it has a nice little flower up here. This is not a flower, it's the antheridial head. Note that anther in there, male part there. So if we take a cross-section of the antheridial head, you see all these little sacs, these little antheridia here. And they all have a bunch of little cells in them, a bunch of little gametes. So male gametes are being produced, which is haploid, and it's sperm. That's what I was going for. But haploid is right. Haploid sperm. So we got our male gametes. Let's take a look at our female. So take a slice of this archegonial head. We see all these little archegonia down here. Each one has a female gamete in it, which is haploid. But what are those called? Eggs. All right, it's all set up. We got our gametes. What's going to happen? All right, the hurricane comes, it starts raining real heavy, and a nice big water droplet goes bloop, right in that antheridial head and just explodes sperm all over the place. There's sperm going everywhere, and we finally get some sperm to land right on this archegonial head. All right, that sperm knows what to do. It wiggles straight down that archegonia and fertilizes our eggs. Start of the sporophyte generation. So we make that into a zygote. So you can see our little zygote right there on the far side, start of our sporophyte generation. What's that spot? What does that zygote have to do next?
Yes.
It has to undergo mitosis. It's got to grow. So it's still within this gametophyte tissue, still just sort of, the zygote's just sitting right up there in the female gametophyte, but it starts growing. So you can see this orange is our sporophyte. And as it grows off of this female gametophyte, it rips off a hunk of gametophyte tissue with it as it pops up. And finally, as it grows and matures, it basically becomes a nice mature sporophyte. But it still has this little gnome hat on top of it. That weird little gnome hat, which is the gametophyte tissue. So the mature sporophyte wears its mother gametophyte as a hat. Whoa. That's pretty crazy. All right. So that structure is called a calyptra, that gametophyte tissue. And basically that's it. So does anybody have any questions?